why you are listening to us and you can't hear the band, because this is an expression of what they call free speech in America. So we're celebrating that right off the bat, because that's something we want here. And these days, winning free speech is very important. So our first speaker and entertainer is a real farmer, a Catholic worker farmer, Mike Miles. Mike Miles has been at it for over 30 years on his farm in Wisconsin. Mike Miles does the right thing with the cows and the pigs he has on his farm, because Mike knows their shit is more important than their meat. Mike is a singer. He's a Catholic worker. He's a resistor to war, and he's a farmer. Mike Miles. Yay!
Wow, thanks, Frank. Yeah, I'm a farmer, but I'm more than that. I'm an agroecologist, which means I do farming with living systems, with biology instead of with chemistry. And what that means is when I am managing symbiotic relationships between my animals that live above the ground and the most important animals on any farm that are 3 feet under your feet, and the plants that interact between them, all the fertility that we need is right there. It's all right there. You don't have to buy any synthetic fertilizer. You don't have to buy any kind of pesticide. You don't have to do anything but manage nature. So we've been doing this for the past 10 years. We have great results. We actually yesterday I visited our steers in the meat locker in our little town of Luck. That's a town of 1,000. And we've been doing grass-fed, managed intensive grazing for about 4 or 5 years in our pastures, and have improved the quality of the soil and the plants so much that an average steer that you get at a feedlot, which is what these guys do, right? They take animals and put them on trains and then move them to eastern Colorado and Nebraska and Texas, and they feed them stuff they're not supposed to eat. Well, those particular animals, they average like about 600 pounds a piece hanging weight, which means when everything's taken apart and they're in the cooler at the meat locker. The ones that we sent out came in at 676 pounds, 731 pounds, 839 pounds, and 915 pounds, just feeding them on grass and managing the symbiotic relationships between them and the soil or microorganisms, and some chickens that are out there too, adding to the fertility. So that's what I do.
Our next speaker, Sharon Donovan. Now Sharon is with the World Food Prize Occupied Crowd. She's one of the 3 people in our working committee. She's an inspiration. And Sharon, you got to eat the mic to be heard.
Oh.
All right, go for it.
Well, I grew up in Iowa and was gone for 50 years. And when I came back 50 years later, I discovered the state had turned into a toxic dump. And the World Food Prize attendees, welcome to Iowa, one of the sickest places on the planet, thanks to industrial agriculture farming. Our lands, our rivers, our lakes, our aquifers are full of toxic chemicals. The corporations Monsanto, DuPont, Dow, Syngenta, Bayer, BASA, and their products have given us dead soil, toxic drinking water, and fish kills. We eat and breathe pesticides in Iowa. Monsanto glyphosate 2,4-D, atrazine, dicamba is spread across our land. Monsanto's glyphosate is now in our blood and in our bones. It is 80%. It's in 80% of our food and falls from the heavens in the rain. Our children are sick from preventable illnesses. We have thousands who are hungry, just like Nigeria. The greedy corporate biotech industry, the Farm Bureau, their mantra is profit. Beware the World Food Prize teachings, their workshops and experts who sell their souls. Beware the World Food Prize promotion of GMOs. These seeds are deadly. We will continue to fight for the health of the people. We will continue to define ourselves by the best that is in us, not the worst that's been done to us, to our land and to our health and to our planet. We fight for sustainable and organic agriculture, and we will persist, and we will always take another step. If there is of no avail, we will take another and yet another step until we prevail and our land once again is alive and our people healthier. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sharon. You know, we just want to put a little more context with this whole thing. Remind us that what's really going on here. Yeah, well, act like we want a free speech thing and we're a little closer, but you think our message is getting through? I don't know. Doesn't look all that good. I mean, they got the band. They got the State House. They got their name on the people's house. What's going on here, baby? These are people with money, those 1%ers. They are scripting this whole scene and they own our government. That's why we're out here and they can't hear us. But we're here again to speak the truth. And right now, Carolyn Ulahal. Carolyn, where you at? Women's International League, Peace, and for 40 years. These good women were here a long time before that. When I asked Maggie Rawlins, hey Maggie, you want to talk? She said, get one of the younger ones. Carolyn Ulahal is a retired school teacher and a loud voice for justice. God bless you, Carolyn. Thank you for coming.
Good evening, everyone. I represent Women's International League for Peace and Freedom. And tonight we are here protesting the industrial agriculture in two ways. Number one, it's become corporate. It's being owned by corporate America. It promotes industrial ag, which means giant farms. It means pesticides. It means huge amounts of fertilizer. It means tractors. So then what happens? Industrial agriculture goes over to Africa, it goes over to India, it goes around the world in the poorest countries and creates these industrial large farms and takes the small farmer away from his soil. We need the small farmer. We need the agroecological methods with the small farmer. Sustainability is important. Second, we have climate change going on now. It's no doubt 97% of all scientists say that, if you're a real scientist. And we have to watch the health of our soil, our air, and our water. And industrial ag destroys all of that. So let's hang in there. Let's stand for sustainability. Let's stand for the small farmer. And let's stand for agroecology.
Thank you. We really can't get our word in. And they're just overpowering. Because, what did I say? They own the big house. They own the people who run that house. That the state of Iowa put out $1 million so they can have this house. That's why they can't hear us. Because the 1%ers are backing this thing. But hey, it's important to show up. It's important to be seen, even if you can't be heard. Amen. Yeah. So, our speaker right now is Well, Christine is going to pass it off to someone else. One of our friends from Dubuque who came on down are going to talk to us. Go ahead. Go ahead, Olivia. Tell them who you are and why you're here.
We'd like to introduce Olivia from the University of Dubuque, a brave young woman who has come here because she is very concerned about our planet and the people and the animals and plants who live here. Let's welcome her.
All right, so this is completely ad-lib, so don't judge me. But this is a much bigger issue than that they obviously really think it is. It's not only affecting the planet itself, the atmosphere, climate change, animals, water, everything pretty much. It's affecting, it's affecting families. It's affecting farm families. It's affecting families in general. They're losing their jobs. They're not producing crops that they used to. It's absolutely awful. It's a complete corporate. It's all greed. The families are literally suffering. The animals are suffering. People are not eating what they should be. They don't know what's in their food. It's all chemicals. It's all corporate greed. That's all it is. It's absolutely ridiculous. And the animals, they need our help because they don't have to speak up. They don't know how to speak up. They can't speak up. The people in different countries, they can't speak up. So this is our job to speak up, especially the younger generation. This is when we need to step in, especially because it's going to affect our grandkids, our kids. It's going, and what are we going to do? We can't do anything. It's affecting our bodies. It's affecting our lifestyles. It's affecting our crops. It's affecting everybody. And once they realize that it's affecting their kids and their grandkids, that's when they're going to start to care. But they don't, because all they see is the money sign. So once they start realizing that it's affecting everybody and it's affecting themselves, that's the only time that they're going to do something, is because that's all they care about, is money and themselves. So that's what we need to push. We need the younger generation to back this up, as well as everyone else. Okay, thank you.
I want to remind you that we are celebrating a free speech victory. That's right. Like what I'm trying to tell you is, we are getting a better deal today than we did last year. Because last year, we were all the way down here, 100 yards away. No one could see us. That's true. In fact, I had an opportunity to talk to Kenneth Quinn just a couple days ago. We were vigiling, and he came out to talk to us. And I told him, you know, Kenneth, we've been coming out here for the last 5 years. And he said, you know, I never knew that. I said, well, you may not know it, but we've been out there and we won. We won a free speech site. So, what you need to know is, we're here, and this is who we'll be, where we'll be next year. And the only reason this ban is being heard over us is because there's not enough of us to be heard over them. So we know the mark next year. But we're really happy to be here. Something else is going on too in this country. Yeah, the difference between last year and this year. Yeah, we're living in the time of Donald Trump. Yo, that's not good.
That's terrible.
No. This president is really an ugly American.
Dangerous.
Yeah, he is. No doubt about it.
Dangerous.
And you know, it isn't like he came out of nowhere. It was set up for him. And the lies of Iowa agriculture is that it's good for our state. And it's not, friends. Listen, in one lifetime we've lost our water. In one lifetime we've lost half the soil. In one lifetime the soil left is dead. And the only farming we know here, we gotta have oil to get it. We gotta have oil to grow it. We gotta have oil to collect it. We gotta have oil to send it all over the world. And we're killing each other doing it. That's what global agriculture is doing. It's the other side of global war. That's why we're here. And that's why we'll continue to be here. And we're going to wrap up this rally with a song and some words from Michael Miles. Michael.
I've learned how to do agriculture with biology, not with chemistry. I think it's important to understand that this World Food Prize is just one take. It's just one take on how the world should be fed. But they have so much money, and they are so connected to the Iowa State Legislature. I mean, it actually kills me. I'm from Wisconsin. I come down here, and the first time Frank said, "Hey, Mike, you got to come down here and help us protest the World Food Prize," I had no idea what those words even meant. I'd never heard of something so, like, disconnected. So then I came down, I found out, whoa, this is something big. But their take on it, their narrative on how to feed the world is just their narrative. There's lots of other narratives out there. And the one that I employ personally, like, it's just on 80 acres. But in the last 2 years, like I said, managing symbiotic relationships between animals and plants and soil microorganisms. And my throwaway line whenever I talk to anybody is that the animals that are 3 feet under our feet are the most important animals on any farm, because they are what holds together the earth's skin. They have one narrative, but they have all the money, they have all the connections, they have their banners up on the State House, and that's going to be part of the lawsuit as to whether or not that's even legal for them to have those on that building. Okay, we are taking these guys on. As Margaret Mead says, the only thing that's ever changed anything is small groups of citizens. That would be you. So give yourself a hand for being a small group of citizens who is going to change the world. These guys are going to stop doing what they're doing eventually, because it's going to stop working. And they're going to have to do what the rest of us are doing. It's too early to talk about sustainable agriculture, because the resource has been so degraded, it has to be regenerated first. And we know how to regenerate it. There's plenty of farmers out there that know how to regenerate it and are regenerating it and are growing actual food instead of commodities, and growing feedstocks for a global chemical industry that's doing not only feed for animals that they shouldn't be feeding them, but biofuels, all that stuff, all the stuff that's in the food that we eat that give us chronic illness. There's people out there doing the right practices that are actually raising nutritious food, healing the planet, building up soils. What do you think the guys down in the Gulf of Mexico who are trying to do fisheries think of what Iowa's doing here, sending all our soil and poisons down there? And what's the size of the dead zone now in the Gulf of Mexico? It's like, yeah, it's huge. And does the World Food Prize care about what the fisheries in the Gulf of Mexico do? Do they care about their income? No, they don't care about them at all. Because they've got this house. They've got their banners on it. They've got loud music in front of it. And they can just basically, like, brush us away. We ain't going anywhere.